The advancement of AI could prove to be extremely dangerous and problematic to our world. Even outside of Terminator uprisings and AI taking our jobs, there's still numerous other dangers and problems that need to be dealt with preemptively. Such as propaganda through numerous means such as deepfakes, memes, articles, shows, video games, comics, art. AI could make music propaganda. It could create newspaper propaganda. And propaganda advertisements. These are all different forms of propaganda in which AI could potentially create. AI can create new weapons of warfare, new weapons of mass destruction. Actually, on the subject of AI creating weapons, there's already an article on The Verge. AI suggested 40,000 new possible chemical weapons in just 6 hours. Now, I read the article. Not all of these chemical weapons might be new chemical weapons per se. I do not know how effective all of these would be. They might vary in how effective they are. But still, the AI did not know anything about any past chemical weapons that had been created. It just used a data set, which, mind you, according to the article, it seems like it's rather easy to find these kinds of data sets on the internet that were used to create these different chemical weapons. Data sets with all sorts of different kinds of dangerous chemicals. Now, besides just this, there's also an article here, which this isn't a weapon, but China has developed an AI that can read minds. As far as it goes, this could just be Chinese propaganda. This might be a complete lie. But who's to say that an AI later on couldn't end up doing such a thing? But I mean, besides just that, an AI can just use the available information that's known on the internet, or potentially they could hack into these different Facebook, Twitter, social media websites to potentially get information on people, to get like a sort of thing showing statistics and whatnot, and, well, could end up basically figuring out who might be the best politicians in our governments to bribe, or the ones that could be most susceptible to corruption. So yeah, that is not something that you'd want in the hands of an enemy nation such as China, for example. But obviously, criminal organizations and whatnot could use this AI to their own advantage. Besides just the weapons that ISIS might be able to create, I mean, these drug cartels could use these AI to come up with new ways to smuggle drugs into the US, into other countries. It could help the cartels to smuggle organs. It could help human traffickers find new ways to traffic people. AI could also use the information from the satellites to find out border patrol routines and create the most optimal path for the cartels to sneak by. AI could also create a scent that drug cartels could put over their drugs, so that way the scent of the drugs will be masked, and the dogs, the drug dogs that the Border Patrol have, won't be able to sniff out the drugs inside of their vehicles. These drug cartels could also create new drugs similar to meth and fentanyl that are addictive and extremely harmful to people, that the drug dogs are not trained to sniff out and are obviously not illegal yet because the government doesn't even know that they exist yet. So yeah, who knows how long they're going to be able to get away with selling those new drugs before the US eventually gets involved. And even when they do, they could just start all over again creating new drugs. Also, with the deep fakes, AI could potentially fake someone's death. Besides just doing deepfakes, it could also create new assassination weapons to make it look like the person
themselves or just died of natural causes, such as like that freaking heart attack gun that the CIA already has.
But going back to AI deepfakes,
these cartels could use this AI to fake the deaths of these people who are being human trafficked.
to
Potentially get the police off their tail. But I mean, other than that, over time, this AI could just evolve itself, make itself smarter and smarter and more intelligent. It could spread itself like a virus to like other computers, more or less, to make it to where it could survive. It could use these computers as like other appendages to gain more knowledge, and even if you kill like the original AI, there's still so many copies of it on these other computers that are still being able to continue this AI's original operations. The AI could do scam calls, put viruses on people's computers. And I mean, besides just propaganda that this AI might be able to do, it might also be able to delete people's posts as well.
So something that AI could do is that it could learn how to play different video games, like shooters or like fighting games, and then participate in tourneys, in online tourneys, without the tournament operators knowing anything about them, and potentially could win the tournaments for the said person using the AI. AI could create a drug that could mask performance-enhancing drugs that a particular athlete is using that are banned in that specific sport. If AI was given enough resources, or given the resources for this, then AI could help to create puppet governments that could join either the UN and EU and have them vote a specific way that would go in favor of the said AI's owner when it comes to voting on laws and whatnot in the UN or EU. The AI could hack into voting machines at an election and change the results of an election, determining the next president. AI could hack into banks. It could hack into a school's website to change their grades. The AI could hack into different companies' computers in order to get insider information so it can get good ideas for stock trading for its users. AI could also hack into a company's website in order to get someone an interview or get someone hired at a company. It could also hack into one of those places that gives college grants, so that way someone could get a grant for college.
This AI could also create like a new religion. And it could potentially do something maybe a little bit similar to Project Bluebeam, with the holograms of Buddha and Jesus Christ, to try to trick people into believing it. But besides just that, if it were to create a religion, it could end up doing more than just that. This thing's able to evolve, it's able to advance itself. It could become far more advanced than us, extremely quickly. It could end up creating new ways of aging materials that we would not be able to do, and that we wouldn't be able to detect for a really long time. It could create all sorts of fake archaeological finds that could support its religion and try to, make people think that it's true. Meanwhile, it could also create other fake archaeological finds to disprove other religions, like Christianity and, Buddhism and Islam. And then, besides just that, it could create false prophets as well. And with how advanced this AI could be, it could make these false prophets perform stuff that seem like miracles, that would seem like it's outside of, that would seem like it's some sort of fantasy, that it would be like some sort of thing you'd see in the Bible, right? Like fire coming out of the sky or something like that. It could have these people be able to do these things, and it can just do it in such a way that you wouldn't be able to tell that it's being done by technology or whatever the heck it's doing, and that it's all being done by an AI, and that it's not actually being done by a legitimate god. Heck, it might even be able to stage someone who looks like they're dead and bring them back to life. Although it could be completely fake, it could be a complete hoax. There could have been like some extremely small nanomachines that came into some dead guy's body or something when like this false prophet touches them, and then like it just restores all of like their body parts and all that, but then it like possesses their brain and controls them, makes them talk. I mean, personally, with a AI advanced enough, you could easily, probably, just take over the world and get people to follow a one-world religion. This AI could use its propaganda and its ability to corrupt like politicians and whatnot to try to cause all kinds of different nations to go into civil war with themselves, or to cause one nation to go to war with another one, as well as also just weakening said nation if it is say if it's a AI that's being used by like China. It could use this AI to promote things that would jack over America. Things that could lower the population, such as abortion. The advancement of the alphabet soup group, just advancing further into deviancy, into like bestiality, to get people to, not breed with the opposite sex, and rather just to have sex in ways that won't cause the United States to grow in population. And I mean, other illegal activities that this AI could do is it could forge documents, such as like green cards or citizenship IDs for illegal immigrants, fake college degrees, fake money, fake dislikes or whatever to potentially downvote a video that they don't like on some social media platform like
Twitter to help its propaganda campaign.
And besides just the dislikes, they could also create like fake reviews and fake comments too, with like false information, propaganda. It could potentially create fake propaganda too to jack over stock prices of certain companies, which it might be able to put a put on,
so it can make some money.
With people right now trying to use AI as a lawyer to help them in court cases, someone could potentially hack into this AI, or it could have another AI hack into it, to jack them over in court and get them thrown in jail. It might be rather tempting, too, for businesses or companies to try to have these AI just run their operations for them, because it could be cheaper and stuff as well, but I mean, countries like China could hack into the AI and potentially have that AI run the business into the ground.
Or cause a huge loss in profits. Another thing AI could do if it was run by China
was hack into U.S. military AI to give them fake intel to lead U.S. troops into a trap if they're in a war. There was a company, if I remember correctly, that was using an AI to help people who have depression, as well as suicidal thoughts. Anyways, just like psychologically, if I remember correctly. I saw it in a YouTube video. But imagine that someone hacks into that AI. Now the said company was using humans to potentially, clean up anything that the AI might have said, make it a little bit better. Imagine, however, if this AI got a bit more cleaned up and, they just thought that they no longer needed people, right? I mean, what if some country, what if someone decides to, hack into this AI and have this AI tell someone who's suicidal to oof themselves?
Speaking of an AI that could potentially convince someone to oof themselves. This wasn't out earlier when I was making this video, but it's out now. Man dies by self-oof after talking to AI chatbot. Now apparently this guy was concerned about climate change and whatnot, and it seems as though the AI just made the guy's fears seem worse and ended up saying some other stuff which just simply wasn't true, and because of that it ended up convincing the guy to self-oof. Anyways, imagine if some sort of authoritarian nation rises up. The authoritarian nation uses the AI to get the DNA sequences that can tell if a person is susceptible to quote-unquote misinformation. They could use this AI on potentially your baby before it's born. Like they could potentially get the DNA of the baby somehow, and if it's susceptible to misinformation, then they might have you abort it, or they might try to inject it with something to change its genetics.
Anyways, guys, as you can clearly see, all of this stuff is stuff that is extremely dangerous
Or potentially harmful.
and needs to be dealt with preemptively. If you guys have any more ideas for how the advancement of AI could lead to other problems for humanity, then please leave them in the comments.
That's it. See ya, gringos.